Hey, what's up, North 47, back with you once again on the Golf Club 2019, and as you guessed from the thumbnail and the title, I am redoing the tips and tricks videos. What I'm doing now is I'm going to break them down into different sections. I still see posts on Facebook and forums and stuff regarding different parts of the game that people might still be struggling with, as well as I still directly get questions asked to me about certain aspects. So what I thought I'd do is, instead of trying to cram everything into one video, that being all your elevation, you're putting the whole, all the different things, I'm breaking them down into different videos. So today what we're going to be focusing on is getting to know your clubs, what you can expect your clubs to be doing yardage wise, and how they're going to act pretty much when you're out on the golf course. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Edit Golfer and just have a look. These are the clubs that I always have in my bag. So I always have the driver, but I've got the 2 wood, 5 wood, 4 iron, down through to the 9 iron, and then all 4 wedges, pitching wedge, gap wedge, lob wedge, and sand wedge. You'll notice there, you can pause the video if you want and have a look at the different, what the carry distances are for each club. And excuse me, the reason why I have this selection of clubs is because personally myself is looking at the distances, or the distance between each carry distance for each club it's fairly balanced, if you get what I mean. So if we start with the lob wedge, that's a 94 yard carry, sand wedge is a 108, so that's a 14 yard gap between the two. Again, sand wedge up to gap wedge, that's another 14 yard. It's starting to decrease then as we go from gap wedge up to pitching wedge. That's only actually no, sorry, that's the same, 14 yards. Pitching wedge to 9 iron, that's where it starts to drop. That's only jumping up to 12 yard, and then again 12 yard between the 9 and the 8. 12 yard again, 8 to 7. 11 yards then with 7 to 6. 11 again with 6 to 5. And then it's dropping again a little bit more. We've just got a 9 yard between the 5 and the 4 iron. And what I feel is, in particular for your approaches with the likes of your wedges and your short to mid irons, it gives a little bit more variation where if you're in between the clubs. So just say for example, we'll go with pitching wedge and gap wedge. Just say for example it's about 128 to 130 to the pin. After I've worked everything out, I now have the option. Will I take the pitching wedge and maybe put the loft up on it, or I have the option then to take the gap wedge and put some deloft on it. That's what I say. It kind of gives me that sort of variation. It opens up a few more options. I don't have big, massive gaps between carry distances on the clubs. So that's the clubs that I have myself. But you can have whatever selection of clubs you wish. But knowing your yardages, your carry distances, and roughly what you can expect them to do, that is the main thing. So I'll be right back in 2 seconds when I get right back down onto the driving range. Okay, so here we are on the driving range. I hope just a second ago I explained what I was trying to explain fairly clear there. I was kind of mumbling to myself, like, while saying it in my head, saying, am I saying this correct or not? But hopefully I got it out clear enough anyway for you to understand what I meant. So what are we going to be doing? This is the first thing that I did when HB Studios released the server-side patch, which affected the ball flight and all that sort of stuff, the loftage. The very, very first thing that I did was I didn't go onto a course to test the clubs out. I came straight here to the driving range just to see exactly what would do, or what each club would do. Now you can use yardage charts if you want. I know early 1981 has done yardage charts for both the pro clubs and the master clubs. I don't know if he's done them for the beginner clubs. Again, I'm not 100% sure if he has or not. He may well have done. But there are people who use yardage charts for their clubs as to what each bit of loft is going to do. For myself though, this is exactly what I did. I started off with the lob wedge. Now keep in mind, you'll see up in the top right, obviously the carry distance for a lob wedge is 94 yards. Now that's 94 yards, no wind, everything perfectly level. But you'll see just below, obviously we've got a 13-foot drop in elevation. So if we were on the course 13 feet, I'd divide it by 12, taking up, but say roughly about 4 or 5 yards extra is what I'd be expecting this to get. Now I'm hoping the wind will stay where it is. It's very, very slightly angled, but let's see what a lob wedge will get with a perfect downswing. with the elevation, I'm going to expect it to get somewhere around about 97, maybe 98. So there's a good swing. I'll actually, after the shot, I'll turn on the ball trail. Got 97, so roughly in and around about where I was expecting to get. Let me just turn that ball trail on real quick. I meant to do that before starting. What's that going to be in? That should be in display and HUD. Ball trail, there we go, ball trail. Perfect. Okay, so let's take another couple of swings really quickly, just see if we get about the 97 yard mark again. Good swing. So now I'm just watching that yardage down the bottom. 95, okay, not too bad, a little bit off from what it was, and the wind has slightly changed though. Oh, bit of a delay there. Alright, there's a good swing. Let's see if it gets roughly in around about maybe the 95 to 97. 94, so the wind is slightly angling again. That's the only problem with the driving range. You can't turn the wind off, so I'm going to expect about 94 to 95 this time again. Whereas if there was no wind, I would be getting maybe an extra 2 yards. 94 again. Okay, right. So we've established about 94, maybe 95, with the wind very, very slightly angled. So let's go full loft. Let's see what full loft is going to do. Decent swing. Now it's got 82, so that's after taking off roughly about 12 yards there. Let's take one more and see if it does the same again. Decent swing again. And 82, bordering 83, so about 11-12 yards. Let's see what half loft is going to do. Half loft should be, let me reset it. Half loft should be roughly just to about there on the W of draw, or the base of the F on fade. So if it took off 11, maybe 12 yards with full loft, I'd be expecting it to take off in the region of about 5-6 yards. So that'll bump it back up to maybe about 87, 88 yards, hopefully. Not too bad, a little bit of a push on it, but it shouldn't affect the distance. 88. So added back on, so it took off about 6 yards, roughly about 6 yards. Try it one more time. That's a bit of a better swing. 89, so about 5-6 yards. Let's see what fully delofted is going to do. Sorry, bear with me. There we go. Just the auto disable again. I keep forgetting to let that happen before I start recording. So yeah, fully delofted. So 94, maybe 95 is roughly in and around about where it was getting. Straight up, let's see what this is going to do. That's fully delofted. And it gets to 106, bordering towards 107. So that's added on roughly about 11, maybe 12 yards. Let's try it one more time. .107. So yeah, roughly about 12 yards it's added on for fully delofted. Let's try half deloft, which should be roughly around about here on the D of draw or the E of fade. Not too bad of a swing. Shouldn't affect the distance. And that's gone 100. So that's after giving an extra about 6 yards. Let's try it one more time and then we'll move up to the sand wedge. Dead on 100. So again, it's adding on about 6. So that's giving me now rough ballpark figures of what I can expect distance-wise or carry distance-wise for the lob wedge. Sorry, I was about to say sand wedge. Now, as I say, do keep in mind that we do have the elevation drop. So, but it's just basically what I'm doing is I'm imagining in my head that there is no elevation drop. That is the actual distance that it's going to get, and I just want to get rough ballpark figures of how far the club is going to get. So straight up sand wedge shot. It's getting me actually pretty much what its actual carry distance is there. 107, I think it just touched onto 108. So let's try it one more time. But do keep in mind though that wind is very slightly angled at 5 miles per hour. Oh, there's a fast. I'm not going to count that. So, oh, perfect, perfect. There we go. That's better. So where's that going to get this time? 107. So 107 to 108. Again, I would be expecting, with the elevation drop, I would be expecting a little bit more, but there is the wind. So we'll just try one more straight up. And then we'll go fully lofted. 107 again. Okay, so 107 is what it's gotten 2 out of 3 times now. Let's try fully lofted. And I'm going to expect somewhere between 95 and 97 yards here. Now that wind slightly changed. But 95 yards. So that's about 12 yards it's taken off now. Fully lofted. Let's try it one more time. And 95 dead on again. Let's try half loft. And I would expect roughly somewhere about 100 yards. So again, I should be just up to about there on the W draw, base of the F on fade. Wind has dropped off a little bit, so there might be an extra yard or so on it. 102, just barely touching onto 103, so it took off about 5 yards there. Try it one more time, bit of a pull on it, hopefully it won't affect the distance. And 102 to 103 again. So about 5, maybe 6 yards is taken off. Let's try fully delofted this time. Drop that all the way down. So it was 108. It was getting 107, 108. I'm going to expect fully delofted. 107, 108. Maybe 118, 119. It's not too bad of a swing. Splattered itself off a bit to the right, but it came back. Oh, 122. Okay, that's interesting. Let's try it again. But now I'm not keeping in mind that while taking the other swings, the wind was a bit up. That's 122 again. The wind was a little bit up and it was slightly angled. So I have to actually expect the extra couple of yards. So it's actually given, instead of giving about 11, 12, it's given more about 13, 14 yards. So we'll try it one more time. Excuse me. And 122 to 123. Yeah, so it's given, instead of about, yeah, it was 107. So instead of giving about 11, 12, it's given roughly about, because the elevation and the wind has dropped off now, it's given about 13, 14. Let's try half deloft. So I'll just reset that back, and again that should be just down to about there. Good swing. So hopefully around about 120, or well, I was about to say 120. A little bit further again. That's 107. It touched down. I think it was about 117 there. It's the only problem is you cannot set the wind to be completely zero. 117. 117 it touched down, so that gave it an extra, that was actually giving it an extra 10 yards there. Why do things go wrong when I'm recording? So while the wind is actually, I'll tell you what, let me speed that shot up. Let's just reset while it's at 2 miles per hour. And now it's wanting to build back up again, but let's reset it to stock. Take it quickly before it builds itself up too much. And it gets 110. Okay, 110. So that's the extra couple of yards that I was expecting. 110. Right, very, very quickly again before the wind builds up. That's not too bad. Speed it up a little bit. 97. So that actually did not take off much. Oh, wait, sorry. 97. That took off about 13 yards there. Right, fully delofted. Trying to do it as quick as I can before the wind affects it too much. 119. So that gave it about an extra 9 yards. But again, the wind has come back up to 5, and now it's back where it was. Okay, we'll move along. We'll take the gap wedge. Let's see what that'll do. That's a very nice swing. And 122, that was actually dead on its carry distance there. Now is the wind slightly angled? Very, very slightly. Okay, so 122, we'll take one more quick swing. Just to get the numbers. 122, okay. So hopefully the wind wants to cooperate and stay as it is. Let's go fully lofted. So fully lofted gap wedge. Got 122 twice with a straight up shot. Gets to 111. So that took 11 yards off there. Let's try and see if we can do that again. $112. So about 10-11 yards. Let's try fully delofted. Actually, sorry, let's try half loft. Solid there. So it was 10-11 yards fully lofted. That it took off. We were getting that full 122 carry. 116 bordering to 117. So that's taken off about 6 yards. About 5-6 yards, which is what I was expecting. Wind has slightly angled a little bit, so this might come up a yard or two short again. 116, 117. Okay, so that's not bad. That's the same. And let's go fully delofted. Decent swing. 132. So that added on 10 yards there, fully delofted. Let's try it one more time and make sure. $132 again. Okay, let's try half deloft. So I'll expect that to be roughly about maybe 127. So about there, roughly in and around about there. The wind might hold it up a little bit. It's a good swing. $126 to 127. So roughly where I was expecting it to get to. Let's try it just one more time. 126, 127 again. Okay, let's move up the clubs. Now I do know already that basically the pitching wedge is going to pretty much do exactly the same. So let's jump up to the 9-iron. 148 carry. Now obviously, oh, that's fast. I'm not going to include that one. So I'll just speed that one up. There we go, that's better. So remember, keep in mind that the 148 carry for this club is if everything is perfectly level. But it actually got 147 to 148 there. So let's try it one more time. The driving range must raise back up as it goes a little bit further down. But again, the wind is actually slightly angled, so it could be just taken off about 2 yards. 146, 147 there. Okay, so we'll say 147. 147 is its distance that it's going to get. Let's go fully lofted and hope the wind doesn't change. Decent swing. $138, so that took off 11 yards there again. No, sorry, not 11 yards, that took off 9 yards. Let's try it one more time. $137, so there's 10. So we'll say 9 to 10 yards. Let's go half loft. Should be getting then roughly about 141, 142. So again, half loft is going to be roughly to about there. Speed it up a little bit. 143. So in and around about where I was expecting it to land. Let's go fully delofted. Just reset it a little bit quicker. So 147 was straight up shot. Nope, that's a fast. I am not going to include that one. That's better. So 147, straight up shot, no adjustments. Gets 156, bordering to 157, so it's added on about 10 yards. So still pretty much the same as the wedges. Let's try it one more time. Pulled itself off to the left from the club there, but still got the same, 157. So it's adding on about 10 yards fully delofted. So I'm now already in my head I'm going to expect half deloft to do about 5, maybe 6 yards. We'll try it really quickly. It's down to roughly about there. So if it was 147, maybe about 152, 153. Wind is slightly angling behind us now, so maybe it might get to about 155, 156. $156 dead on. So basically now I know that half deloft or half loft is going to add on about 5-6. Fully lofted is going to take off about 5-6. Fully lofted is going to take off about 10-11, maybe up to 12, and then pretty much the same numbers then for fully delofted and half delofted. Let's try the 8 iron as we're starting to build up now into the sort of the mid iron clubs. Wind is pretty much straight up right to left. It is trying to angle back, but 160 is what it should carry if everything was perfect. Gets 164 there. Okay, let's try that again, because the wind again, as I say, is very, very slightly angled. Let's see if it gets about 164 again, and then we'll have the rough ballpark figure for this club. 163. Okay, so 163, 164. Let's go fully lofted and just see if there is a similar difference as to the wedges and the 9 iron. Ooh, that really came left off the club there. Shouldn't affect it too much. So 155 to 156, taking off about that 11 I was about to say mile per hour, 11 yard distance again. Let's try it one more time. Oh, now it's gone right, but it is gonna get its distance. 155, 156 again. So there you go, pretty similar figures. Now let's see. So I'm gonna expect half loft now to do about the same, but we're gonna skip that one. We'll go straight to fully delofted 8 iron. So it was 164 straight up. That's fast. I'm not going to include that one. That's better. I'm not worrying too much about the pushes and pulls. 169. So that's added on. If it was 160, that's added on 5 yards. Let's just see if it will do that again. Now the wind has dropped, so I'm keeping that in mind. No, I'm not going to include that one. That's not too bad. So let's see if it gets about the 169 again. 169 dead on, just as it was touching onto 170. So it's adding on about 5-6 yards fully delofted. So as you can see now, there's already a difference. The lofting up is pretty similar to the 9 iron and the wedges, but delofting, you can see the noticeable difference now. It's dropped quite considerably already. Let's push on to the 7 iron. Let's just have a quick look, and then we'll skip the 5 and the 6 maybe, and then jump up to, or the skip the 5 and the 6 iron, jump up to the 4 iron maybe. So 7 iron is going to get us 176, border on 177. Its normal carry distance should be about 172, but the wind is slightly angled. So let's see if it'll get that again. It's a good swing. And 176 to 177. Okay, so we'll just imagine now that 176, 177 is its actual carry distance. Let's go fully lofted. Ooh, it's not too bad. It shouldn't affect it too much. 171 a touchdown there, so that took off about 5-6 yards. Let's see if it'll do it again. That's not too bad, a little bit straighter. Still a little bit squiggly line though. 169, okay, so it took off another 3 yards there. Let's just try it one more time, because the wind is, as I say, the wind is changing all the time on the driving range. It's not too bad. $168. Okay, that's not too bad. So we've got that. What was the original again? It got to 170. Let me try it again. 170. I think it was 175 or something like that, wasn't it? 172. So it actually got its carry distance there. 172. Okay, if that wind is still 2 miles per hour. Now it's angled. Okay, let's try it one more time. 172. I'm expecting it to come up a little bit shy, or maybe around about the 172. And then we'll try and quickly get fully lofted with that wind. Let's speed it up a little bit. 168. Okay, 168. It's jumped up to 6. Let's take it really quickly. I'm 161. Okay, so yeah, it took off about 6, maybe 7 yards. The wind is trying to jump up again. Let's go straight fully delofted. So it was 178 straight up is what it gave me. Or sorry, 168. 175, 176. So added on about 5, 6. So you can see that there is the noticeable difference. Let's jump up to the proper long irons. Yeah, we'll skip the 5 and the 6. They should be pretty similar. And we'll go straight up to a 203, the 4 iron, which should have a standard carry of 203 yards. Gets 201 there with that bit of wind. So without the wind, I'd expect on this driving range to get maybe about 205, 206 there. Let's try it again, see if we get 201. That's a good swing. $201 again. Okay, right, so 201's the ballpark. Let's go fully lofted. I think the ball is trying to chase that bird there. Nearly hit it. So 201, and there you go. Now that got 199 there. Now the wind is pretty similar, and it only took off a couple of yards. It has jumped up a couple, or a mile an hour, up to 8 now. So let's see if it'll get roughly about 199 again. Might come up a little bit shorter. 198. So it's taken off roughly 2-3 yards there, fully lofted. Let's try it one more time. It's dropped back to 7. Nope, I'm not going to count that one. I won't count the fast downswings. That's better. Okay. 199, bordering onto 200, so not really affecting it. Let's try fully delofted. So fully delofted. And that is going to go 201, bordered to 202, so didn't really affect it at all. And again, ooh, that came off left this time. See, if you think about it as well, think of your club face, 202, maybe 203. That the higher up the clubs you go, the more closed that the club face is going to be up, and you're not getting as much elevation. So if you're fully delofting, you're closing that even more. You're probably still going to get your same distance, but you're not really changing it. You're not really changing the angle of it. That's the way that I see it. 203, 204. So it's adding on maybe 2-3. There's not really much difference in it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to... We'll skip the woods. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. We'll take the 5 wood. We'll take the 5 wood real quick. 226 is its normal carry. Speed it up a little bit. 227 it got there. So pretty much, as I say, the driving range must actually slightly elevate itself as it gets down further. Although it does say the 590 yards is what it's playing as a par 5 kind of thing, that it's 13 feet down. But you can see the elevation drop. So let's see what fully lofted 5 wood is going to do. And I think we'll just skip up onto the driver. Pretty much the same. A little bit of extra yardage there. I think I got about 2 yards extra. It got 228, I think it touched down. Let's try fully delofted. Oh no, that's a fast one. Fully delofted, there we go, perfect, perfect. And got about the same again, so not really any difference there at all. Let's go up to the driver, and I want to sort of, I want to do a couple of perfects, get a ballpark of what its carry distance is going to be here on the driving range. So there's one. Speed it up a bit again. Right, 288. Now its normal carry distance is 285, but obviously we got that little bit of a drop. So 288, let's see if it'll do that again. Just so we know. I'm not going to fully loft this one, I'm actually doing something a little bit different now. So 288 again. Now, keep that in mind, 288. I'm going to do a fast downswing. It's going to pull the ball a bit left, but it's going to give some extra yardage. So 288, perfect, perfect. 295, 296. So that's added on 7, maybe 8 yards extra. Let's do one thing that it bugs me and a lot of other people as well. Slow downswing. Oh, no, that's perfect. Don't want the perfect. I want a slow downswing. So 288 was its standard carry. Let's see what the slow. Hopefully I can get the slow this time. Nope, that's perfect again. When I want the slow, I can't get it. It's always the way. Alright, third time's a charm. No, okay, so third time's not a charm today. And I'm still well in the perfect zone as well. Okay, I'm going to have to go really, really slow. No. Oh, I was almost on slow there. Okay, we'll get it. We'll get it eventually. I just don't want the wind to change too much. There we go. Finally got it. What was that, the 5th or 6th attempt? But 288 standard carry. Now watch them numbers there. 300 yards with a slow down swing. Now the wind has dropped off, so that was 300 yards on a slow down swing. Now let's redo it with a perfect. There we go. Pushed it a little bit. Shouldn't affect it though. $299. Wait, 299. Oh, sorry, 289. 299. 289. So a slow downswing gave me roughly about an extra 11, 12 yards on that, and pushed it off to the right. Gave it a little bit of a fade. What was the other one I was going to do? Let's have a look at a fast downswing. Now I'm only doing this on the driver. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the difference. We're not going to follow the ball this time. Just watch that ball trail with a fast downswing. So as you can see, it's coming around to the left, which works in your favour if you want to get those extra few yards. Touchdown 299, 300. If you want to get those extra few yards, it can really work in your favour, especially on the likes of par 5s, and as well for bending it around slight dog legs or carrying bunkers or stuff. So let's now have a look at the difference. Let's see what a lob wedge does with a fast downswing. Oh, that's a very fast. So that's going to come really, really left. Which it actually didn't, surprisingly enough. There's perfect actually. Let's just watch. Follow that trail. A little bit left, following the wind. So it's ended up pretty much right in front of that distance marker there. Now let's try a proper fast, not a very fast. There we go. Let's see how far left it's going to go. And that can be the difference between a birdie and a bogey. Is just that there. Let's go up to the 9 iron. Let's try that one. Perfect. Down first. There we go. And again, that's coming back to be pretty much in line. It's very, very slightly left of the distance markers there. So let's see what a fast is going to do. Nope, that's perfect, perfect again. Is it going to get about the same? It is. Okay, right, so that's just left. Let's see what a very, not a very fast, but let's see what a fast is going to do. There we go. And look how left that's gone. So always keep that in mind. Now actually, I'll tell you what, with the 9-iron, let's see what a slow will do. There's the slow. Bit of a short swing, but don't worry about that. And look how far right that's gone. And again, adding on some extra yardage. So both the fast and the slow are going to give you a little bit of extra yardage. Sometimes they don't. So keep that in mind, but a lot of times they can do. The fast will usually always add on extra yardage, but the slow sometimes will, sometimes won't. But more so what you're wanting to look at is the trajectory of the shot. How far left the fast has pulled it, and how far right the slow downswing has pushed it. Sorry. Let's go back up, and to finish off the video, let's have a look at the driver again. And let's see the distance now this time with a perfect. So there's a perfect. Now we're going to aim for a perfect downswing, but we're going to go with a fast backswing. So that was about 290 there, I think 289, 290 a touchdown. So let's see now what a fast backswing is going to do. Oh, I didn't want the fast downswing, I just wanted a fast backswing. If you want a fast backswing, just make sure just to push forward just before you reach the top. There we go. Pushed it a little bit, but it shouldn't affect it too much. So a fast backswing is going to get a little bit of extra distance as well. It was roughly, I think it was just over 295, 296 I think it got. Now let's see what a slow down swing is going to do. So I'm going to hold a little bit longer. There we go. So it's about 289. Perfect. And there you go, that was about 272, I think, that touchdown. So see how much a slow down swing can do as well. So working your tempo can really put things in your favour if you know when to do it and when you want to execute the likes of a fast downswing. I very rarely myself go with a slow downswing just because it just doesn't feel natural. But fast downswings, the only downside with doing them is sometimes, which I fall into the trap, they can creep into every single shot. So when you're needing that perfect downswing, your thumb or whatever grip style you're using, just muscle memory, boom, 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 and you're knocking out them fast downswings, and that can destroy your round. But if you're able to get it down to a T and you can execute those shots perfectly, manipulating the tempo. So say for example with the clubs that you have in your bag, as I mentioned at the start of the video, with the clubs that I have, I feel I have the multiple options depending on the scenario that I'm in, where I can go up a club and loft, or I can drop down a club and deloft, and so on. But if you with the selection of clubs you may not have that option. But the likes of a fast or a slow backswing, well, sorry, not really a fast, but a slow backswing could take off those extra couple of yards that you might need, and so on. Thinking about it that way, and that's what a lot of people do, is they'll manipulate their shot tempo, where they might want, as I say, the slow backswing but a perfect downswing, just to take a few yards off. Or depending on the situation, if you've got a tricky pin, say on the green, and the club that you have is perfect to get there and let the ball check up a little bit quicker, but it's guarded by a bunker, and if you get the perfect, it might not just barely carry that bunker, it might just catch the edge of the bunker, or just square it off into the rough or something like that. But if you get that fast downswing, you might get those extra few yards. You just need to keep in mind to adjust out to the right a little bit, because it's going to pull the ball left, and manipulating your shot. So that's what this video has been for, is getting to know your clubs, getting to know roughly. Bob, as I say, on the driving range, it's a little bit different because you cannot set the wind to zero, and you've got that elevation, so nothing's perfectly flat. I know there are courses, I can't think of the names of them though. Maybe somebody can drop them down in the comments below, or if I can remember what they are, get somebody to tell me what they are, I'll do so myself. But get a ballpark figure for your clubs. What each one is going to do. I say you can do it here on the driving range. Just keep in mind that you're getting that extra little bit of distance depending on the wind, or you might be taking off a little bit. And use that as what your actual carry distance is. Fully loft it, try it a few times, fully deloft and so on with each one. If you do on master clubs, I've pretty much done it for you here. Pro clubs, pretty similar. I have done them before. I haven't done it though with beginner clubs. I honestly don't know, but as I say, if you do play on pro or beginner clubs, just do that. If you're not sure of what the yardages are, how the loft is going to affect each ball, and the likes of fast down swings and stuff, just head onto the driving range, just take a few swings and do what I've done here in the video, and get an idea of what way your clubs are going to act when you're out on the course, and hopefully that can help you out a little bit more as well. So I hope you did enjoy the video. I say the tips and tricks are going to be spread over multiple videos now. I'm not sure what one's going to be up next. Probably approach shots maybe, or maybe the wind. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not doing them in any particular order. So keep an eye out for those. If I haven't bundled them all into one playlist, I'm dropping them all out to you at once. But if you did enjoy the video anyway, do drop it a like and make sure to comment down below what your thoughts are. If you're only new to the channel or you haven't already, please do subscribe if you wish to, and click that bell icon so you stay notified of when I upload in the future. And until the next one, take care, have yourselves a good one, and bye for now.